This is not a vlog. Well, it's a nice, cool winter morning in Albuquerque, but it's sunny. And the thing about Albuquerque is if it's sunny and not windy, it's usually pretty comfortable in the sun, even though the temperature is in the 30s Fahrenheit right now. Well, good day to you. Taking a little walk around a city park, northeast Albuquerque. Rode my motor scooter today. I had to go down to the Apple store to pick up an SD card reader for my iPhone, and decided at that time it would be a good idea to take the scooter since I haven't been out on the scooter for a while. But anyways, dressed for it. Wore my Carhartt jacket, which is pretty warm actually. Looks like I'm a construction worker when I wear these things, but hey, it's pretty good. It has a hoodie, by the way. Look at that. Nice hoodie. All right. Well, I was laying in bed last week, couldn't get to sleep. Things were on my mind, and one of the things that was bugging me was my office in my house is so crowded. It's sort of my video studio, my photography, computer editing station, a lot of storage, a lot of my cameras and gizmos and gadgets and tape recorders and almost the entirety of my typewriter collection. All of that is in my little office, and it's starting to feel really crowded. And also, even though I have roughly, whatever it was, almost 30 typewriters, I had the sense that they're kind of being wasted. I mean, I can only use one at a time. I usually rotate them through, but they don't get used even on a weekly basis, the one that's being rotated into use. So the typewriters are sitting around not being used, and I was thinking, man, I gotta do something with these things. So yesterday I was out in the man cave shed, had the Triumph Norm 6 on the tray table in front of me, and I decided to tap out a blog article. And it was kind of surprising, but the title of the blog article was Downsizing? Yeah, I'm thinking about downsizing. So, about the typewriters. Well, I'm certainly not going to be giving up my typewriter hobby anytime soon. I see typewriters as a permanent fixture in my creative life, but I don't necessarily see myself as being a typewriter collector like I used to be. I guess the transition has really been from collecting typewriters and appreciating them as collectible historic objects to the point where I'm really more interested in them as practical tools for the 21st century. You know, I think they're certainly functional, usable, practical as creative tools, and so that's where I'm at. And so if you approach typewriters from that perspective, the point, I guess, is not acquiring or amassing a certain number for the sake of collecting, but more about amassing typewriters, and maybe amassing is not even the right word, but acquiring these as writing tools, as creative tools. So you don't really need to amass the quantities necessary for using them as tools. If you're collecting them to make a collection, then yeah, you'll probably have to have a lot of typewriters to represent whatever subgenre you're interested in, pre-World War II, ultra portables, etc., etc. But as being creative objects, creative tools, you don't need but a couple of them, really. Well, so it's one thing to say, well, I'm going to try downsizing my typewriter collection, but it's another thing entirely to actually sit down and decide which of these great machines am I going to get rid of that will no longer be part of my life. My typewriter collection is, for the most part, a collection of entirely functional machines. They all work. And they all work pretty good. For the most part, any one of them, you could sit down, roll a piece of paper through it, and it will type and it'll write as a tool. And there's some nice machines, really is, but I can't have them all. And I've kind of decided, well, I do like ultra portables, so I'm going to keep 2 ultra portables. and I think I've decided the Hermes Rocket has some sentimental value, and it's been worked on by Bill Wall over at Mesa Typewriter Exchange in Arizona, and it works great. It's a great typewriter to have, one of the smallest typewriters ever made. It's a great example of an ultra portable. Certainly I'm going to keep that. Then the other ultra portable I really like is the Royal Mercury. This is the second Royal Mercury I've had. The original one, my beach typer, I ended up selling to somebody, but this one I got more recently, and it's even mint condition and types great. I like these. I like the Royal Mercuries. They're good little machines. Good, rugged, reliable ultra portables. So the other ultra portable in that category would be my Brother Webster XL747, the blue one. I'm just going to sell it, or give it away, I should say, because even though it's pretty and it's the rugged, reliable Brother, it has a heavy touch, heavier than the other two, and I can't justify really having 3 ultra portables. So that's not really that hard of a question to answer. Now, I do have also a Roy, French-made, collapsing, flip-around typewriter. In its carrying position, it's probably the thinnest typewriter ever made. But it has some intrinsic design limitations that make it more of a historical curiosity, more of a collector's piece than an actual practical writing tool. The platen roller is really small in diameter, and this one is really hard. The machine is kind of clunky. It's just a number of reasons why it's just not an ideal writing machine. So it's not a hard decision to decide on the ultra portables, but it's a little more difficult when I think about medium-sized portables, because I have a number of them that are pretty nice. But I think for sentimental reasons, I'm for sure going to keep the Smith Corona Silent Super, the one that was started off in my possession, having bought it off a Craigslist ad locally. It was in terrible, filthy shape, and it took me a long time to iron out the skipping issues. And I also, last year, got it completely new rubber on it, platen feed rollers, paper bale rollers from J.J. Short. So that's a great machine. The 5 Series Smith Coronas are great to work on, easy to maintain, good machines. I'm going to keep it. That leaves the question then of what about the second medium-sized portable? And that's a harder question to answer. So I have the Triumph Norm 6. I think I'm going to keep it. So that means, like the Torpedo 18, I'll get rid of the larger Olivetti Underwood 21, and any of the other medium-sized portables. I'll be getting rid of all those. So I'll be basically limiting myself to Smith Corona Silent Super and Triumph Norm 6, which I think is a great pair of typewriters. Will, I think, keep one daisy wheel electronic typewriter, and that's going to be the Sears. That's made by Nakajima. And then that leaves the category of thermal typewriters, and in that category, I'll probably keep the Brother EP43 and the Sharp PA1050. Actually, you know what? I'll probably keep the Brother EP20 also, because it doesn't take up hardly any room, and it is a nice little typer to bash out a little thermal printed note on. So that's about, 8 typewriters maybe I'll keep. Under 10, I think that's pretty reasonable. And that brings us to the question, therefore, of what am I going to do with all the others? How am I going to get rid of them? Well, one option is I could put them up for sale on eBay or some other means of selling them online, which would entail having to deal with payments and shipping, and the possibility of, even though I've packed them carefully, there may be some damage in shipping, and you don't really know who you're selling it to. You don't know what their experience level is with typewriters, and in the case of sometimes on places like eBay, there may be issues involving the buyer not being pleased with what you represented as the condition of the machine, etc., etc. So that's one thing. I don't really see the machines as requiring me to receive some kind of financial recompense, because I believe most of these machines I got very inexpensively, and I've gained a lot more pleasure in owning them than compensation for selling. I don't think it's a fair exchange. I don't see the value as economic. in that sense. It's not an economic exchange in my view. It's something a little bit more, less tangible, a little more important than that. Because I don't want to see the machines incur the risk of damage. And also because we have this local fledgling community of typists in Albuquerque, represented by the Albuquerque Typewriter Society and also other people loosely affiliated. I think I really want to give people an opportunity locally to pick up these typewriters. Certainly I'm going to open up the opportunity to our local typewriter group, but I was also thinking there may be some people out there in internet land that might be interested. So this is a harebrained scheme, but our next public typewriter event is going to be in April, but it's a little kind of a short notice. We normally don't do a summer type out, but I'm thinking maybe this year, if we could arrange to do a summer type in event at an indoor location, a big location, and if I could advertise it ahead of time sufficiently, then perhaps some of you guys would have sufficient lead time to take a vacation out to New Mexico, visit our type in. And if there's any typewriters left from my collection that haven't been acquired, maybe you'll have a chance to pick them up or whatever. But more importantly, we might have an opportunity to meet face to face and talk and stuff. So that's something that I'm seriously thinking about. I wrote this in my blog article yesterday that I'll link down below, but it's an idea I want to pursue, having a summer type in and inviting you to come and share with me as I give away most of my typewriter collection, which amounts to roughly 20 machines, I think is what I counted. I'm giving away about 20 machines, and I'll be left with about 8 of them, I think. So that's how I'm going to do it. I don't want to sell them. I want to give them away to people that could use them, that want to use them as creative tools. That's my desire. Now, since we're on the subject of downsizing, I want to mention also that another one of the major items of clutter in my house is I have a fairly substantial collection of homemade pinhole cameras that I've made over the last 25 years. And I'm getting to the point now where, since I don't use very many of them anymore and they're taking up all this room, but they represent some creative ideas that I had, maybe unique construction methods or design ideas involved with building them. I'd like to document at least that part of it. So my friend Ethan Moses we're planning on getting together this week, and we're going to go through and try photographing all of my pinhole cameras, kind of like studio shots of each one. And then I'm going to try to dig out all my paper negatives that I've made on all these cameras and try to find the best images made with each one, and maybe try to put together a print-on-demand book of my pinhole camera collection and that whole part of my life. And then once that project's completed, I think I can let go of all those cameras. Now, letting go might involve throwing them in the recycle bin, or it might involve giving them to local people that are interested in pinhole photography, keeping in mind, for the most part, to take advantage of these cameras' ability. You pretty much have to have your own dark room, so that limits the possibility of people who can take advantage of these cameras, because most of them don't use roll film, they're sheet film. You cut paper to certain specific sizes, which means you got to have a darkroom to do that in. You have to be able to process different sizes of photo paper, and so that pretty much requires a darkroom. So that kind of limits the audience of who I might be giving the cameras to. Now another idea came to me. Hey, I could put a video out or a blog article out and say, hey, anybody wants a pinhole camera, I'll mail it to you. But then it's like, I know these things are like, they're just made of foam core board and cardboard or cigar boxes or things like that. I don't think they're worth the shipping costs, to be honest with you. I don't think they are. So I just don't see the economics of that, being able to ship those out. So if I create a book, though, that documents the cameras, how they worked, and also some of the design sketches from my old camera making sketch journals, that would be kind of cool, because that's sort of an interesting artistic thing in itself, is camera design sketchbooks. And I think combining photographs of the cameras, photographs taken with the cameras, and then shots of my sketch journals, I could make a pretty interesting book. And if I do that, it'll be available for purchase on probably Blurb, is usually the platform I use. So that's another idea. That's another thing I'm working at. So there's the downsizing of the typewriters and the downsizing of the pinhole cameras in my life going on right now. Well, this is Joe, and I hope you guys have a great day. Stay creative, and we'll see you another day. And this is not a vlog. Oh no. Bye-bye for now.